And we're live. We're live with David Choi. David Choi!
Hey!
What's up, dude? Dude, thanks for me. What is your hat? It's LA what? Just
it's
LA?
Just LA. Just representing LA, even though I'm from Orange County.
Yeah, it's all LA. Some people would think that the OC is LA, but it's technically
it's
not.
Very different.
Where in the OC are you from?
I am from Garden Grove originally.
Garden Grove.
Born in Anaheim, but I grew up in Garden Grove.
Grew up in Garden Grove. Wow, that's kind of cool. And how long have you lived in La?
I lived in LA for, I think almost 15 years now.
Oh wow. How do you like? And where are you in LA?
I am in the Valley.
Okay, the Valley. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to get more specific? Or you don't want to get more specific than the Valley because you might have stalkers.
The Valley, where near Universal Studios.
Okay, so somewhere near Universal Studios, people.
Near Universal Studios.
I am with a very, very amazing YouTube content creator and most of all, a very talented and brilliant musician. Folks, this is David Choi. I'm just going to give another clap.
Thank you.
David Choi, everybody. David Choi. I'm very fortunate and lucky.
You're very talented.
I'm a
huge fan of your work.
Oh, God bless you, sir. God bless you. God bless you. Sorry, I feel like my microphone is just so... I want to... Yeah, it's just so... It's blue,
Definitely
too.
Reminds me of like the emoji, this squash emoji.
Oh, is that... the squash emoji.
The eggplant,
yeah. The eggplant emoji, which some people use as a dick. That's what they do. I like your hat. We both have the red caps. Do you know what this is about?
BL.
BL, no, it's close. Man, Brady's got to fix his branding. No, it's TB12. Tom Brady, number 12. It's Tom Brady's company, TB12.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I'm the, I'm a fanboy. I'm a fanboy for the Braid because I'm from New England, as you know, even though he's a Buck now.
He's just killing it.
Oh my God, he's killing it.
He's the best. He's the best in the world.
The best you can. I think you can go. To the, now he's in the upper, he's in that upper tier with Jordan and with Ali and with Babe Ruth. Right? He's in that conversation now. There's zero question.
He gets a lot of hate for some reason. I don't know why.
I know because he's good looking, dude.
Isn't he a good person though? I don't know too much about him to be honest, but as far as I know, he's like a good record, I guess.
From what I hear and read, and with people that that know him and whatnot, he is a genuinely good guy. What do you think about NFTs? About this guy, who's this guy Beeple that sold that NFT for like 69 million.
Yeah, that's
which
insane.
Is crazy, right?
NFTs, man. I feel like it's definitely a real thing, whether people want to believe it or not, because people are spending money on it.
Yeah.
And so if anyone, if your feces was auctioned off and someone actually bought it and there's a marketplace around it, there's actually some value with that, right? Like no matter what it is, right? I'm not comparing NFTs to
shit. Well, you did. NFTs and poop are the same.
But I think the if there's value put on it, then it's valuable, and that's the way I kind of see it. And it's more so. I guess I'm having a hard time grasping the more of like the visual aspect of NFTs. Like, it's a digital piece of art that you can still replicate on the internet.
That's where I get confused. But by the way, I understand the concept of an NFT. Anything's an NFT. If you purchase, if you play, a game on your phone and you purchase a skin for your character or any sort of coins or bonuses or anything like that. Mm-hmm. That's an NFT. Anything that lives in the digital world. So I understand the concept of an NFT. It's something that lives strictly within the digital world that's sold and purchased. However, what I don't understand is what you just said. I don't understand how it appreciates in value or even maintains its value, because how can you differentiate between the original and a copy? That's where I get very confused. I'd love to hear somebody who knows what the fuck they're talking about with NFTs.
I'm not an expert in that, but the value that you get, because it's NFTs are right now really popular with art, right? Art pieces.
That's what's sold, right? The Beeple, right?
Exactly. And so I feel that these art pieces are, they compare it to real art, right?
Yeah.
Out in the real world. And so when you own something, you can display it, you can put it in a museum, and you can charge people money for it,
Mm-hmm.
and you could sell it to someone else who feels like it's worth more money. And so that's a tangible object that we can feel, but with an NFT, it's not so much tangible because it's replicable, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really do that with an original painting, and that's why it requires people to pay to go see it because it's rare. And so I think with the NFTs, it's not a direct comparison. I don't think it's a direct analogy, but or a parallel. But I feel like the NFT art would perhaps make sense in the future when the world becomes more like Ready Player One, where there is a digital world,
Yeah.
and the ones who do truly own this particular art piece or a piece of the NFT, they can actually in this digital world, if we're all avatars and different characters, they can actually open a museum, and maybe this platform or this world will actually display and showcase that this is indeed the real owner of this NFT, and then maybe they can monetize it. I think it's more so about the value of it and the people believe that it's valuable, just like with anything else, actually, right? Like I can put air in a bottle, and if you believe that it's worth $1 and someone else believes
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
$1.50, and then
Yeah.
5 years later if someone believes it's $10, then it's valuable. So
How far away do you think we are from a Ready Player One scenario?
I hope soon, but I think it's going to take.
You're like, I'm done with this real world shit. Give me that virtual game, baby.
I think maybe 15 years, I
Yeah.
would guess. 15, 20.
When I say, I mean people are spending the majority of their time in this virtual world versus the real world. You think we're possibly 15 years away from that?
I think as probably as amazing as that movie. And I think there's so much people are already doing that. If you think about video games, you're living in a different world for
Yeah.
for professional gamers, like 10 hours a day, right? Like they prefer the fake world over the real world. The only difference is in the real world we can actually sleep, eat, and you can use a bathroom, right? In the digital world, you can literally build a business, you can transact with people, you can sell things, you can buy things, you can be educated, you can learn things, you can be social, you can travel, you can do all of those things and build in the digital world. Whereas you can't really do that you can do that in the real world, but it's not as maybe
Accessible
exciting.
or exciting.
Yeah, it may not be exciting for some people. So in the real world, we have this table that that's in front of us, or this chair we're sitting on, but we may be like, oh, this table's like, it's just sitting here. I can't change it. I would have, it requires a lot of energy to move it. But in the digital world, I can literally make my table look like a palette, like made of gold, or whatever colors you want. I can make it, have different textures or whatever I want to do. And so there's so much flexibility in the digital world. And you can fulfill a lot of your human needs through that, besides the ones that I just mentioned. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be different.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be so many people who prefer that world over this world. And so I don't know. I mean, we're already like I'm only saying this because I'm already seeing it with games.
Yeah,
right?
you're seeing with Twitch and live streams. I mean, people are spending vast amount of times on those platforms.
Yeah. And they're not physically next to them either.
Yeah.
They didn't have to go out and meet these people or.
Do you game? Do you game? Are you a gamer? You a gamer?
I don't really have too much time these days to
Yeah.
game, but I did play a lot of games when I was in high school and my college years, and
Yeah.
the games I do play are mobile. Like I
Sure.
play Clash Royale a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're just quick games, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Can we tell? I just want to for those at home that don't know too much about you. I'd love to just give me a quick little bio, your background, where you're from. You're from the OC. Were you born in excuse me. I almost did that. Were you born in the OC?
Yeah, I was born in Orange County.
Yeah.
Born and raised, and then I moved to LA when I was 25. But
Just somewhere in the valley.
Somewhere in the valley near Universal Studios.
Near Universal Studios.
But I Yeah, I came up to LA pretty often, so it was just a part of my entire life.
Your
Um,
upbringing. Yeah.
yeah, my upbringing, and so yeah, uh, I was really into music from the age of 16. Before that, I was not into music because I was
No.
forced to play violin and piano, which I hated.
Do
Um,
you play either now?
a little bit.
Of which
I
one?
could play
Piano or I'm gonna guess piano.
piano. I'm better at than violin
Do you still fuck with the
now.
violin? Do you have a violin?
I have a violin. I could play a little bit. I'm not
Yeah.
that great. I
Yeah.
should be better than I am.
Yeah.
I didn't practice. I didn't like those instruments because I was forced to play. But then when I was 16, I discovered songwriting, and that kind of changed my life actually. I became obsessed with music. That led to, I'm going to give you the short version. I interned at a recording studio when I was 17, 18, and then that led to me getting signed at a publishing company, Warner Chappell Music at the time, and I was a staff songwriter producer. And then that led to YouTube. I joined YouTube back in 2006 as one of the first YouTubers. And then I was also one of the first YouTubers to be a part of the partner program where they give you a percentage of the ads that you see next to your videos that you're watching.
Yeah.
And so that was great because I was able to put that money back into my career, which allowed me to basically be a full-time creator, which allowed me to also travel around the world playing music for a living for the
Yeah.
next 10 plus years of my life. And now I've transitioned. I still love music, still working on music here and there, but now I'm working on a tech company called Takko.
I was about to ask you, can we discuss your app a little bit or what you've been
Yeah,
working on? Because this is
absolutely.
gonna be educational for me as well. So just
Yeah.
give it to me, baby. Go.
Yeah, so the app right now is in test flight mode, but what we like to describe Takko as is the YouTube for short form content.
Can you spell that for us?
Takko
Okay.
is the name of the app. And the whole idea came from the fact that I was, like I mentioned, I was one of the first creators to be a part of the partner program, and that was great for me. It was a great opportunity because at that time no other platform was doing that, where they would share in the revenues, and that really allowed me to do what I love to do for a living.
Yeah.
And so during that time, the 10 years that I was on 10 plus years I was on social, I was always asking the other platforms, the social media platforms that were out there, when they would start compensating creators like YouTube, because actually I don't know if most people know this, but less than 1%, generally speaking, of all the users on these social networks are the ones who are creating the content. Less than 1% for the 99% to come and consume. And so what does that say? That means that the creators are very important, a part of the ecosystem. Yet on these other platforms, they were not being compensated for their work. And so that was kind of a frustrating thing for me during that time period. I mean, I'm not complaining about my career. I was able to do this, but it was because of YouTube. I was just frustrated with the other platforms for not doing the same. And so that kind of birthed the idea of Takko, where we wanted to really take care of the content creators and put them first because they do make up a very small fraction of the entire user base. And the way that I see it is, without any of these creators creating content for any platform for that matter, there would be no users. And so they should be treated really well, and they should be able to participate in the revenues that come in. And so that's kind of what we do. We want a Takko to be a platform where people first and foremost trust. We like to say it's built by creators for creators, because a lot of us who are at Takko, we've worked with creators or we are creators ourselves. And so we want it to be, number one, a place where people can trust, and number two, a platform that helps content creators build a business doing what they love to do, like I was able to experience.
Yeah.
And so that's really our mission and our goal.
And which other platform, or maybe it's completely lives on its own, would you say it's most similar to? What are some of the details that make that sort of round out the app and make it unique compared to YouTube or Instagram or whatnot?
Absolutely. So on Takko, we have a carousel that is really interactive, and people can, you can do all types of videos where you can do step-by-step videos. You can have other people chime in and collaborate with you. We like to say it's collaborative storytelling, or you can do vlog videos in different parts in different series. And so for us, that's kind of like a really great differentiator that we have, the, compared to other platforms. And the monetization part is also very important for us, because we want creators to not just be able to upload videos on any platform, but to be able to monetize it.
Yeah.
So we have a creator program where everyone is open to sign up for, and you can start monetizing your content right off the bat.
Is it can you shoot and edit within the app as you can with whatever Tik or a TikTok or IG stores and whatnot?
Yeah. So right now we just allow you to upload from your camera roll on your phone. We're actually working on some tools, some really exciting tools for creators to be able to edit within the app itself, just like you would be able to in some of the other platforms that are out there. But we're focusing more so on the types of tools that you can that kind of cover a wide range of different types of content. Like for example, TikTok, their tools are really truly optimized for like dance or lip syncing type of videos, which is what you see a lot of. We want to our tools are going to be similar to maybe like an Adobe Premiere type of experience. I mean, maybe not as crazy as Adobe Premiere, but that's more mobile friendly. And then that will be able to assist people in creating content and then monetizing it and building your audience on the platform.
That's super cool. Now, do you have other? How many people are in the process of working on this on Takko? Is it you and developers and whatnot? And
yeah, absolutely.
Other people of business.
Man, I mean, just transitioning from content creator to working here at Takko, like it's been quite the journey, and it takes a village to build something like this. I have so much respect for just everyone on our team, my co-founder, our engineering team, who happen to be they're worldwide. It's a strong and small but mighty team. We have 6 software developers right now, and so we're kind of like working around the clock too. There are some folks out in Croatia, Bosnia, America, and so so we have a good team going, and we're at I don't know if I said how many people we have, but we have about 10 people right now.
Oh wow. And so what's the next step? First off, was this something you joined? Was this part of your brainchild? Did you help come up with this concept, or where do you fit into all of this?
Yeah, I'm one of the co-founders, and then my other co-founder, his name's Peter Chen, and he has a great background he was a previous entrepreneur. He's a software developer by trade, and he went to Stanford, and he's done an amazing job of just kind of leading the tech efforts and just working with me on building this. So that's kind of where we're at right now with our team.
That's amazing. And so what's the is there a timeline yet? Can you discuss the timeline as far as like when we might see this, or when this might go out to the greater public? Can you talk about any of that, or is that under the wraps?
Yeah, so right now we're doing a test flight where we're having a bunch of users. We just actually did I don't know when you're going to release this, but we just did a
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, so we did a movie night, a drive-in movie night on the 11th of March, and we had a bunch of content creators, over 100 creators that showed up, and we got them all on the test flight, and so they're testing the app right now. We're hoping to launch something in the App Store, hopefully by May or June. And when we launch, we would love to have everybody join and sign up for the creator program, build their business as a content creator on our platform. So
that's amazing. Yeah. That's so great. Now, are you going to be are you going to also throw yourself into the ring? Or you're going to be like, no, I'm too behind the scenes, I'm not going to be also one of the content creators on there? Or are you going to do that as well? Or is that not even crossed your mind yet?
Yeah, I'm going to definitely create some content. I mean, I should.
I think you should.
So, I mean, I don't know if I could spend too much time on that, but but I will be creating some content, because I do believe that what we are doing is for the greater good of the creator community. That's really our big mission here. So, yeah, of course, I'm definitely going to use it.
Let me
Interact with
let
people.
me take us back to YouTube real quick. Do you think it's tougher to break into YouTube now than it was back in the day?
Okay, back in the day, it was definitely easier for
Yeah.
sure because there wasn't as much competition. But I feel like now you still can build an audience because that audience is now grown. That pool of users is just massive now.
Yeah.
Because like when I was on YouTube, even having 50,000 followers was huge.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Now you look at PewDiePie, he has like 100 million followers, and
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if you have the right niche, you can break into YouTube for sure. There are still creators that have just started a year ago, for example, that are have
Killing
millions
it.
of followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're killing it because they found the right niche. But I will say that when it comes to new platforms in general, the early people who are early generally will become the stars of the
Yeah.
platform.
So
That's
you
something
hear
that I've noticed.
Yeah, so you hear that, people, when Takko goes live, jump in early. Getting while the getting's good is what you're saying, right?
It'll always be good on Taco because we'll always put creators first.
You always put creators first. Yeah, it definitely pays to be early with all those platforms. Do you have one? Do you have another platform? I know you're super busy that you play around with. Do you have one that you prefer between Instagram, TikTok? Are you on TikTok at all?
I have it. So I have an account. I'm trying to get it back. Someone hacked my account,
Oh, really?
so I'm trying to get it back. But it's really difficult to get it
They
back.
took what are you, David Choi Music?
They took David Choi Music and then they named him this person.
Yeah.
And then they locked me out, and I tried to contact TikTok, but they keep sending automated robotic messages to me, and I can't find a person to.
Is there any customers? There's no live customer service with any of these social media platforms because they're just being crazy. They wouldn't have enough manpower to be able to
Taco's
host that.
working on
Yeah,
that.
really
We're
having
gonna
live
we're gonna do
customer service?
we're gonna,
No way, that's
yeah,
crazy.
we're gonna call it the Creator Concierge Service.
Wait, that's crazy. You're gonna actually have. I was being facetious. Having a
Not for
live customer
everybody.
service.
Not for everybody, but for certain people,
Yeah.
we want to give them a phone number that they can call.
Yeah.
And I think that's the right thing to do because, like I said, creators are the life source of any platform. Their platforms don't exist without creators. What is Netflix without great movies? And who makes
Right.
the great movies? Creators, right? And Netflix would be nothing without the amazing movies that are and the content that's up there.
Correct.
And so, how difficult is it to just give someone a phone number that you can call if you're a creator, and just be like, "Hey, my account's hacked. Can you please look into it?" Sure,
That
I'll
would
look
be
into it right
that would be
now.
amazing.
How like that's not rocket science. It's
No.
just really the priorities that the platforms have. That's what matters the most.
Are you trying to say? Do you think that Instagram would be capable of such a service? They just choose not to.
I mean, if they can hire 25,000-30,000 people to watch, filter through like gruesome content, I'm pretty sure they can hire like 500 or 300 people who can just pick up the phone and talk to a creator who needs help.
Right. They
I
just
mean,
choose not to. Then, yeah, I agree with you.
It
Yeah.
depends on the priorities of the platforms.
Right. Right.
And we want to prioritize the creators. So
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Well, that's cool. Well, dude, this is. I mean, I'm so happy for you with doing this. For those that don't know, Dave and I. When did we meet? We met about 6 years ago.
did we meet through?
We either met through Ryan or we met through Shinger Kai,
Yeah.
mutual friends. And I haven't spoken to Ryan in a moment. I know he's super into Twitch now or
Yeah,
live
he's a Twitch
streaming.
streamer.
He's a Twitch streamer now. Is he doing YouTube at all now, or is he just fully on? I don't even know.
I don't know. He
No.
hasn't uploaded a video on his main channel in
He's just made that
over a
transition.
year.
That's great
Yeah.
though. It's I've seen I haven't spoken to him in a moment, but that's great though. Whatever's gonna make you happy and make and keep things rocking and rolling. That's yeah. I mean, I feel like he could do pretty much anything he wants, and I'm sure it would be successful. He's a super talented and awesome dude at the same time, and that's rare.
He's a great guy. He's a great friend, and
yeah, it's rare that you have somebody that's so talented, but also like super humble, and also at the same time super kind and super giving. So yeah, Ryan, shout out to Mr. Ryan Higa. Shout out, man. What's up? Yeah, you guys did I mean, if we can talk about it, you guys did a podcast for a moment. What was the beginning? You know, what was that podcast? That was The Pill, right? What was that called?
Off the Pill.
Off the Pill, right? See, I can remember Off the Pill, and what can we talk about that? What was the because that lasted for, I don't know how long that lasted. It seemed about a year. Am I right in that time?
About a year.
About a year.
Over a year. About a year. Yeah.
And was that you guys just kind of because that was during like Ryan's like sort of transitioning period from he's like, what do I still want to do YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And so basically, it's kind of like similar to a band in a way, where he's like, he sort of like everyone kind of went in their own sort of directions. But how was that podcast experience for you? Because you ran that, right? You produced it.
Yeah, I produced it. It was actually really fun. It was a lot of work for sure.
Yeah.
You know, getting everybody coordinated and just all the guests coming out. It was shot actually at my house. For a bit, and it'd be between LA and Vegas, and so it was fun. We had a lot of cool guests. We had I think some of the highlights would be Marcus Lee Brown, who's a big tech reviewer on YouTube. We had Andrew Yang, who ran for president.
Wow, yeah,
in my house. We shot here.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we had like Michelle Phan. We had Summer Rae, who's one of the biggest Instagrammers, come out.
Yeah.
Anthony from Smosh. It's really cool people.
Oh, that's great. And you guys had like four. You had three people, right? And a guest.
Yeah, it was me. It was Ryan and Paco.
And Paco, right? You, Ryan, and Paco.
Yeah, and Will would be on sometimes as well.
Yeah, Paco's rocking out the stand up.
Is he still going with that?
As far as I know, yeah. I mean, I think I see his posts and whatnot.
Yeah,
Paco's rocking out the stand. And did you guys have who was in charge of the actual like tech, like the sound mixing and all that jazz?
I did that.
You did all that? Oh wow.
I didn't. So I would actually go through and just. We actually did edit certain parts out just to keep it shorter because these podcasts could go pretty long.
Go for it, yeah. I know, I'm terrible at editing it. I'm like, yeah, it sounds great. Just remove the part where I cough into the mic and keep the rest.
Exactly. And so, I mean, we would try to condense ours to like less like at the hour mark.
Yeah.
Just because we found that our audience was more into that, and so yeah, I did that, and then I would just leave notes for the person who edited the podcast to take out the parts or kind of just condense some of it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way that our flow worked.
And did you enjoy that experience?
It was a lot of work because you had to listen to the full podcast a couple times.
Yeah.
And so I would say that it was a good learning experience for sure.
Yeah.
And then I also went out and tried to find sponsors to sponsor the podcast as well. Mm-hmm. And we had some cool sponsors as well that came in. So yeah, that was.
Did you guys ever do Patreon? Did you ever do the Patreon thing?
We didn't do the Patreon thing, but I think Patreon's great. Jack Conti, I did some collaborations with him. He was a YouTuber and he still is. He has a group called Scary Pockets music group.
Oh, cool.
Amazing. I don't know if you've heard his music, but...
I haven't, but I'll check it out for sure.
They're very, very good. And so they're like a funk band.
Yeah.
And Jack's really done something amazing for the creator community where, creators can monetize their audience and have them support them financially. Yeah. So I think that's awesome.
How do you feel about now? Do you feel like now is like we're at the peak of content creation as far as like the types of platforms everybody can use, or do you think that's like there was the golden age of television? Are we at the golden age of digital media, or are we getting there, meaning we haven't even hit that peak yet? Where do you think we are?
I felt the golden age was when I was first involved in 2006.
You think that was the golden age? You think we're past the golden?
At that time it was the golden age for me. But if I zoom out and I look at what was in 2000, 4, 5, 6, with even MySpace up until now, I think in some ways I feel like we've just started. As weird as that sounds, nowadays everybody knows how to be a content creator if they really wanted to, and that's kind of one of the main reasons why, another reason why Takko exists. Not to bring it back to
no,
Takko,
dude, this can all be about Takko. This can literally be the Takko podcast. We don't have an actual topic for today, so we'll just be like, today we're discussing Takko with musician and content creator David Choi. There we go. That's the topic.
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants to be a content creator, and I think people are starting to think about, like, how do I monetize this, right? How do I create the business side of what we're doing? And so, just being from the music industry, so many musicians, like, this is a very common story that's been told probably millions of times, where they got screwed over by someone or some group or some company. That's so common, right? And so I'm like tired of hearing those kinds of stories, and I want to create some really good stories, like, oh dude, I joined this thing and I had a really great time, or I made a good amount of money, or I'm able to do this or that, right? Live my dreams. I want to create more of those types of stories. And so I think where the world's headed is everyone wants to do that, and they want to be their own boss. They want to kind of control their own destiny and have different places where they can build a business. And for me, that's like, I'm trying to bridge those two concepts together. Another great example is Etsy. Right, Etsy is a platform where if you make arts and crafts, you can actually sell it on that platform. Like if you make blankets, you can start a blanket business on Etsy and sell it on Etsy to an audience that actually wants to buy it.
Yeah.
And so in the same way, for content creation, like, I mean, you know this, like, as an actor, when someone creates a piece of content, or you are inside of not inside, you're in a movie or on a TV show, you get SAG royalties. You get dividends or royalties, right? And in the online world, that doesn't really exist, right? It hasn't existed for the past 15 years, and I don't think that's cool.
Yeah.
Because it's a marketplace, and there's so much content that's being reused. Yeah. And why is it still that YouTube's the only platform that's compensating?
Because everything is what's in perpetuity, where it's like, it's just, you sign your life away for either no amount or a very minuscule amount, and now they can use it, as you said, forever. They can recut it, they can slice it, splice it, whatever. And that's what they expect you to do, especially when you do a lot of non-union stuff. I know there's a SAG New Media contract and whatnot, but not everything is that. Not everyone wants everything to be that. So it's what do you have any, aside from jumping into the Takko app the second it goes live, because it sounds amazing. I might even, if you let me, I would love to check it out. Totally. But do you have any advice? Because you're seasoned, if you will. I would consider you. Yeah, you're a content creator veteran at this point. You know what I mean? You've been wildly successful. You're one of the true pioneers of YouTube when it first came out, and you've worked with some amazing people. What advice would you give someone who's just starting out right now, as far as whether they're a musician or actor or just a content creator in general? Should they just try out every platform, see what sticks, or you mentioned something earlier about finding your niche. How important is it to find your niche, like all that stuff?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a similar question as to what do you want to be when you grow up.
Yeah.
and some people don't know. Some people know, and that's great. That's a great head start, right? But some people just don't know. They want to try a lot of things, right? Or some people just like doing a lot of things, and that's okay. And so with that being said, I think when it comes to content creation, what I've noticed, well, let's talk about YouTube, right? So on YouTube, there's kind of like two different types of creators. Like, one is the types of creators that is more about the brand, them being the brand, right? And so I will do a cooking thing. I will do a singing thing. I will make videos about me talking about politics. I'll do like a fashion thing, right? And so that's all centered around me. And then there's also the channels that build things that or concepts that are not centered around an individual but an actual concept. So, for example, this channel is all about the best fried chicken channel. So it doesn't matter really who's in it. It's just about fried chicken. And that can be kind of like, I don't have, if I was the creator of that, I don't have to necessarily be there. I can hire someone or hire a friend to be that host for that episode.
Interesting.
And then the audiences will know that's what this is about. It's about fried chicken. It's not about David Choi. It's about fried chicken. So, so those are kind of like the different approaches that people can take, and it really depends on your personality. When it comes to the choice of platforms, a lot of different platforms offer different things, and they also have different communities on them. YouTube, they have all kinds of communities on there, but if you want to be a gamer, everyone knows that you want to go to Twitch because they are hyper focused on gaming.
Sure.
Everything gaming focused.
Yeah.
And so when you think about, for example, Twitter, a lot of, depending on your age group, I'm a millennial, so millennials look at Twitter as a place where you can have just great conversation and look at politics and news and whatnot.
Comedy, a lot of comedians on there.
Comedy, yeah. Some people see comedy on Twitter. Gen Z, they like to describe Twitter as a place where you get instant news.
Yeah.
It's a place where you get just news.
Yeah.
And so, or some, like a few of them would say like you can get memes there too. And so to each their own, right?
Sure.
So that would be kind of like a bird's eye view of like the platforms and what they offer. I would say that most creators tend to do really well on one platform, and they like to focus their energy because it's really hard to focus on multiple platforms.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it. We're just people, right? We only have so much bandwidth.
Right.
And so I would recommend people just really hyper focusing on one platform and optimizing that to the best of your ability. Some people like to switch off and go to a different platform and just try it out and see if they grow quickly there. But people tend to stick with their main platform and then take the content that they made from that platform and put it on the other platforms.
And use that as some sort of use it as cross-promote.
Exactly.
Start again. Use it as cross-promotional content. I created my own tongue twister.
Yeah, so like when I was a YouTuber, I would make a lot of YouTube content, but then I would tell everybody on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, hey, I just made a new YouTube video. Go check it out.
Yeah,
that's kind of.
Yeah, I feel that. For me, I'm like, find your main platform. That's like your television, if you will, and then cross promote it on different other ones. But find your main one. That's your main focus.
Exactly, and it's really about when it comes to social media. It's there's also like a couple different ways you can approach it, like your audience. So one, you can approach it as you're just trying to build your community and interact with them, and have that really tight connection. Like you want to understand them and you want to take feedback from them. And then there are those who are kind of like more like, hey, let me just put on a show and you're just watching. It's more of like for the visual or whatever, right? And so those are different kinds of, I guess, nuances when it comes to that creator and audience relationship. And so that also depends on the person too. There's no wrong answer or right answer here. It really just depends on what you're passionate about. And I think the more you create, the more you learn naturally, and the more the better you will be at optimizing whatever you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And some people are trying to achieve massive numbers. If that's the case, then you have to make types of content that most people would find very interesting or find find it worth their time to consume, right?
Yeah.
And so, or catches their eye. Those are all like important factors. Like, does this catch my eye? Is the title and the thumbnail, grabbing my attention? Because there's so many pieces of content out there. What am I going to talk about to get that from them?
How important is it to have your passion aligned with your creativity?
That's a tough one for me because, man, I heard like this quote. I don't remember the quote exactly, but it had to do with like doing what you love, like going for your passions. And I read this quote about like when you do what you love to do, it's you no longer love it. So when I
Interesting.
first started YouTube, I absolutely loved it. I would keep in mind I was doing this for a decade. So
Yeah.
near the tail end of the decade, that's when I started to kind of like lose a little bit of the because it became very monotonous for me,
Yeah.
my music career. And so I slowed down a little bit. But in the beginning, I think you should be. I like to say this to people: don't necessarily go after what you love to do, but go after what you're good at.
Interesting.
Um, Everybody has certain skill sets and talents that they may not actually love that they have it, but they know that they have it and they're better than other people. Like, for example, a skill set of being really good with people. That's a skill set that not everybody has. Um, or a skill set of like, I mean, like talent is that's the obvious stuff, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he's musically talented, or that person is really good at basketball or whatever, right? Like those are the more obvious ones, but it's taking all these skill sets that you have and kind of creating this I guess I hate saying it like this, but like that's the product basically
Mm-hmm.
of all these skill sets and things that you have, and what can you do with this product that can attract an audience, and how do you optimize what you already have, because um, that means that whatever you already naturally possess, it'll be 10x output than someone else trying to do the same thing. If
What
that
if
makes
what
sense.
you're really good at is something you just don't enjoy? You know what I mean? I was a
If you don't enjoy
really
it,
good. I was a really good waiter. I've waited tables. I was really fucking, and I'm a terrible multitasker. But for some reason, when I'm on set or when I'm in a restaurant, I'm great at multitasking. It's the only two times I'm good
so
at
this is what
multitasking. Or when I'm
if you're
driving. If I'm driving, I'm great. I'm a great multitasker.
here's what I would do if you're a great waiter. I already got an idea for you. If you're really great at it, here's the great thing about being great at that. I, Roberta, I've never been a waiter,
Yeah.
but if you can tell me what it takes to be a great waiter and teach me about what it's like to be a great waiter, whether you like it or not, like you don't have to love that job. Um, Even if you hate it, you can teach people why it's like what makes you amazing at it. What makes an amazing waiter? What are all the tips and the tricks? To
Interesting.
me,
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting, actually. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, let me ask you right now. What is the no like? If you can wrap up being a great waiter in like maybe 2 points, what are the top two traits that you need in order to be a great waiter?
Know what they want before they want it.
Wow. See, that's mind
And,
blowing
and
to me right now.
what's
No
that?
joke. That's mind blowing to me to hear
Yeah.
that because I've never heard that before. Knowing what they want before they want it,
Yeah.
like
So I need to anticipate. So if it's a large table and there's two baskets, for instance, this is a silly example, but it's the first one popped in my fucking head, and the bread baskets are depleting, and I'll immediately know this is a large table. They'll probably want bread again. I'll just bring another bread basket out, even though the restaurant probably will have a limit on bread baskets, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I mean? Or when that, if their drink is running low, offer them the drink or just bring them that second drink. And obviously not like an alcoholic drink, but let's say they're running, even if they're like 3/4 down, on their soda, get them their other soda, whether they want it or not, drop it off because chances are those people,
chances are they want it.
yeah, absolutely. So just know what they want and just be on top of that. So that's a huge thing is
And
knowing what they want before they want it.
I love that because when I think about that phrase and I think about some of the best restaurants I've been to,
Yeah.
you just made me think of this one restaurant where they are like it's actually a Chinese restaurant. I haven't been there since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But one of the jokes that me and my friends used to do is we would just like drink our water, sip it, because we know that they come and refill it or they'll bring a new drink, just like that. When
Yeah.
right when you're done, you set the glass.
Boom, right there.
before you set the glass down, there's already a new glass there.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of that, and I didn't forget that story because of how amazing that service was.
Yes.
Like,
And
that
it's
kind of
it's
stuff.
this easiest thing. Now sometimes waiters get slammed and they're understaffed and whatnot, but ideally
It's not easy. It's not easy for everyone to do that.
no. You
Some
should
people
yeah.
don't have that foresight, you know?
Yeah. So just knowing what they want before they want it, and just being personable. Just, that's a huge thing. Personable, just get them what they want, and read. And another huge thing is just reading, kind of like anything, reading the room, reading your table. Are they people that are there to wine and dine for 4 hours, or are they people that are on a quick business lunch? They need to get in and out in 20 minutes. You know what I mean? That reading the room, being able to tell what kind of customer this is, where are they on that scale? Are they a family? Are they going to have certain needs with the children and whatnot? Are they a couple? They're going to want a little space. They're not going to want you just popping in every 2 seconds, like, hey, how those appetizers going? You know what I mean? Maybe they want a little bit of distance. Maybe, and feeling the room as well. Maybe there are people that want to chat with you a little bit. Do they want to chat? Do they not want to chat? And it's kind of just reading the room, knowing what they want. It's kind of just like reading the people, and that's really what waiting to me comes down to. Obviously there's all the parts about getting the order fucking right, and and getting making sure the food's hot and all that jazz, and not fucking up. But it's just knowing your customers, which I guess plays into a lot of aspects of life. But
okay, so this is a transition well. So right now, what you just told me were a lot of things that I had no idea about, right? About the waiting industry. How many waiters are there in this world?
Fucking
Millions.
lots. Yeah.
Millions. Don't you think that there would be millions, tens of millions of people, maybe even hundreds of millions actually, who've ever had a waiting job, right? Don't you think that these people hearing what you just said would either learn from it, and let's say you turn it into a comedy sketch. Yeah. Don't you think they would naturally already be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing because I get what Roberto is saying.
Yeah. No, you're right.
That's what I mean by your experiences or your talents. Taking that concept and how do you multiply that? How do you create that, create a piece of content from that? You already have that experience. I appreciate it from a learning experience. But other waiters around the world will watch that and be like, I can relate to that. I'm going to follow this guy. This guy knows what I'm going through. Like, this guy knows what he's talking about. Yeah. And so that's what I mean. Like, finding those things, those experiences, and then leveraging that in order to create content or build a community or an audience around that.
Interesting. Yeah. It's basically finding what you're good at or great at and doubling down on that.
Yeah. Even if you don't love waiting tables.
Yeah.
Right? It's a skill set. It's it's not a skill set that everybody has, but I think a lot of people have experienced that, but you're like up there. You're
and I'm sure there are a lot of waiters that are even, I've rarely done fine dining except when I did catering. I've rarely done fine dining, waiting. So I'm sure there's a whole other level that I'm unaware of, but it's just for, working in the restaurants that I worked at for so many years. And and I've done everything. I've bartended, I've bus tables, I've managed. Managing is the worst because because you're there from the beginning to the very fucking end, and you're just constantly just putting out fires. I hated it. Managing is the worst. Bartending is great because you're in so much control. If somebody's giving attitude, you can just be like, boop, you're not getting served. Fuck out of here. Waiting, you have to kiss ass a little bit more. But it's very much in and out. You come in, you do your job, you do it well, and you bounce. Managers are there for the whole thing, and they're overseeing everything. And that was not for me. Last restaurant I worked at, they were like, hey, we want you to manage. I was like, no.
Yeah. No, see, even what you're saying about being a manager, like there are so many things you can do, so many short skits, even like 10-second skits that you can do about that industry, being a waiter, being working with waitresses, being a bartender, working with all these different types of customers, how to manage a restaurant. It could be funny or it could be serious. Yeah. And imagine you had a merch line, like on top of that, once you draw your audience about like I'm a waiter, or whatever you come up with, right? And you build that kind of brand. Now, is it a brand that you may want? Do you want to be known as the waiter creator? That's really up to you.
That's actually a good name right there, waiter creator.
Like, could it help like build your brand? Absolutely. What can come from that? maybe you can open a restaurant. Maybe you'll be so successful you can partner with a chef, and maybe you can wait at your own restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Like all of these things can turn into something amazing as long as you can kind of connect the dots. And it's all about creating that brand first, creating that community that will support you in whatever you decide to do.
Yeah. Interesting. See, this is very motivational how you speak, and very, very kind of uplifting and informational. I like that. I like that a lot. I like it. I like it a lot, David Choi. I like it.
Well, I know you're very talented, so
I'm in a constant state of what am I doing, and what should I be doing next? I always feel like and I like what you just said about finding something specific and trying to and finding that audience and multiplying that, whether you love it or don't love it, because you can always grow from it. Because I'm always like, man, should I focus on this? Should I focus on podcasting, on stand-up, on sketch? Should I be working on a short right now? Should I be writing this screenplay that I've had in my mind for a little bit? You know what I mean? I feel like there's always so much in the pie that I'm like, I don't know which section to start working on first, so I end up just fucking not doing anything. And I'm sure it's the plight of many creative people that are just like overwhelmed with like, where do I begin and what do I do?
Yeah, I know, absolutely. That's something that everybody goes through. And look, at the end of the day, it's what motivates you, and use that, like leverage that. And I would say that when it comes to like I said, your strengths that you already possess, like in your knowledge, like how can you leverage that to really help build your brand? And I think there's nothing wrong with being the waiter creator.
Yeah,
maybe there already is.
Yeah,
but
there probably is.
But there probably is. Just like there probably are musicians out there.
Touche, sir. Touche. You know what else I'm really fucking good at is procrastinating. If I could turn that into a business, then I'm really good at procrastination.
If procrastination was a business, I think a lot of people
would be multi-gazillionaires. They'd be worth more than the most expensive NFT out there, the $69 million NFT. I mean, his NFT, I think was literally just like, it was his first like 30 Instagram posts or something, or was something crazy like that.
I think it was 5,000?
Oh, it was 5,000 Instagram posts?
Something like that. I don't remember the exact. I don't remember what
it was. All his posts, though, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It's such an insane story. I love it. I love hearing stories like that. Some people get like, "Oh, that's so stupid." I was like, "Is it though?" I'm always so fascinated. I was like, "That dude just won. He just figured it out and won."
But if you also think about him in relation to what we just talked about,
please,
he has a skill set. He's clearly an artist, right? He can create art. And then he built a community. Yeah. And through his community, he was able to sell a $69 million NFT. Yeah. That didn't come out of nowhere.
No.
That came from community driving.
Yeah. And years of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think years. I don't know exactly how long.
Yeah. So if you deconstruct it, it came from somewhere. Yeah. It came from his talent and something that he leveraged to get his name out there to a community, which then supported him.
Yeah. How are you with career? This is something that I toggle with in my brain all the time. As far as how are you with, as far as your feelings when you don't create? I know I know my emotional state when I'm not in some form of creation mode. I'm in a very dark abyss of a place. I always have to be doing something. Sometimes I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Sometimes I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I always have to have some sort of momentum somewhere. I have to be in creation mode in some aspect, whether it's acting or writing or directing or producing or doing my podcast or whatever it is. Where do you fit into that? Do you always need to be in some sort of creator mode? Because you're obviously a very talented creator and artist. And so I would consider, even though you're a businessman as well, I guess technically all artists are also business people, but you're right now very much, you're building a platform right now, which is fucking amazing. Is that fulfilling your creative side enough, or do you on the side also like, oh fuck, I gotta write a song right now so I keep my mental health in check? Does your mental health play into, sorry, very all over the place with my questions, does your mental health play into your creativity at all, as far as when you don't do it?
Yeah, I definitely feel it sometimes. But the good thing is, I can always do it. It's just what do I prioritize? Building a company is one of the most difficult things I've ever done, and it's just insane, and I'm still learning a lot. But as far as the company, I'm driven by a greater purpose. It really is. I really genuinely want creators to be able to make a living doing what they love, and that's what's driving me. And it's a huge goal, very ambitious, might be impossible, but but it's there, and I really want to achieve that. And so I guess that's my stubbornness. I really want at least or have to be out there, be an option, and have people benefit from it. I want to see those amazing stories. Like I want to hear from people saying like, wow, this thing changed my life. Like, who doesn't want to feel that or see that or experience it? And so, I really want to do that. And in terms of creativity, I got my weekends, and sometimes I'll, pick up a guitar and just, play it. Or there's so many different ways of being creative, even within the business world. Like the approach that other companies use. It gives you an opportunity to be creative about some of those known approaches. You can do things different, and that does exercise my creative side as well.
Yeah, and it sounds like your passion is very much in line with this app, because it sounds like you're very passionate about other creators getting compensated for their work and in the right way.
I think it's fair. I think it's the right thing to do, and we have to. Like, I have no choice. I have to do this.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I applaud you for that, man. I really, really, really do. I'm so excited for you. I'd love to see this. I don't know where, who you're showing this to, as far as the what is it called? You call it the test flight. Test flight. That's right. But yeah, whenever you feel it appropriate to show me, I'd love to see it.
Absolutely,
see it. Yeah, man.
I'll give you a link.
Yeah, please do. I'd love to check it out. Is there anything? By the way, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this podcast, for talking with me, for being a guest on this. I know you're insanely busy building Takko, but I'm just honored to have you on. I'd love to have you on again, and I'm so excited for you doing this, man. And it's been awesome catching up. It's been a moment since we've physically seen each other. There have been a lot of people that I haven't physically seen, I'm sure that's the case with many people. I'm still very much like I can't. COVID has fucked me up plenty, and knock on wood, I haven't gotten it, and hopefully that remains to be this, the case, forever.
Gotta get the vaccine.
Gotta get it. But mentally, like, I haven't seen friends, I haven't hung out with people, I can't go. I haven't been inside a restaurant. I know they're like, oh, they're opening up movie theaters. I was like, my brain just won't let me sit. And I love movie. That's what I missed more than anything is movie theaters. And I'm definitely more antisocial than I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah. I find that hard to believe. Like you were kind of just, this light that traveled everywhere.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Well, we'll see. Hopefully I'll be able to, rewire my brain and get me back into some sort of normalcy once everyone's vaccinated and whatnot.
Waiter creator.
That's the thing. I got to look into that. Well, dude, thank you so much for doing this. Do you have anything that you can plug right now for the world, for the peeps? Where can they find you, all that jazz?
Well, you can just go to takko.app or takkoapp.com, and you can sign up for the email list. And then, we'd love to see everyone on the platform. My Instagram is David Choi Music. And I think that's it. Dude,
rock and roll, brother, man. Dude, thanks. We do this at the end of every episode. We're going to do a quick virtual hug. Quick little, there we go. That's nice. Oh, that's good. It feels good. It feels real for you. It feels real for me. In a while. Yeah. I let go early, but I'm holding again. This is what the hugs are going to be like when we're in the Ready Player One universe.
Right.
That you've prophesized.
That won't feel the same.
That won't feel the same because I need the heart-to-heart interaction. I'm going to do my outro real quick, guys. Thanks so much for listening to the Let's Hug It Out podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Hug It Out podcast. Find us on Buzzsprout. And find us on all your standard podcast platforms. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, Stitcher, Apple. You guys know what Apple is? Ever hear of fucking Apple? It's a thing. It's a real thing. And that's it. David Choi, everybody. David Choi. Go check out his Takko app, and I'm sure it's going to be a huge success. And I loved having you on. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Anytime.
All right. And to the world, I say bye. Thanks for watching Let's Hug It Out podcast with Roberto Rad. Follow us on IG at Let's Hug It Out podcast, and find us on Apple, Spotify, and all podcast platforms everywhere. See you next time. Bye.